Good day, everyone. My name is Anna, and welcome fall. Finally, it is now fall season here in the US, and finally, we had a cool down. Our morning temperatures now, it's still in the 90s, mid 90s. But at least it's not going 100 degrees anymore. And I know for most of you, that is your summer weather. But in here in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the desert, that is our fall weather. And believe it or not, it feels so much cooler now compared to the previous weeks when we were over 105 degrees Fahrenheit, even 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and more. So right now, it feels cool to us being in the 90s. And also, the nighttime temperatures now would go down as low as in the 60s. So, very cool nights now. So, going back, this video I will be giving you an update on my cacti this fall, and also I will take you along with me as I do my fall tasks. But first of all, let me show you this coffee that I'm drinking today, because this is one of my favorite coffee. This is Barako coffee from the Philippines. So I bought this in my recent trip to the Philippines. One of the best coffee in my opinion. So now it has finally cooled down, and in this video I would like to share with you the tasks that I do or that I will do this start of fall, and as well as give you a brief update on my cacti collection. This past summer, we received a lot more rain than we usually do during the previous years, and so my cacti really loved the rain. In fact, after the rain, a lot of them plumped up, even without me watering them as often as I used to. I now water only once a week, but if it rains, I don't water at all. During summer, I was watering like every 3 or 4 days. So look, I don't know if you can tell, but they're more plumped than they were before. A lot of new growth on them. So the rain plus the cooler weather made my cacti burst into life again. In fact, some of them are even pushing out flowers again. So they were in flower in spring and summer. Although latter part of summer, a lot of them went dormant. So even the flowering, not too many flowers anymore during the summer, but I could see now that some of them are pushing out buds. I'm excited for this. This is the first time it will flower for me. This is an Astrophytum ornatum. When I got this one, it was so small, like a golf ball size, but now it has grown so big, and it is the first time that it will give me a flower. Actually, the first flower that I will get from all my Astrophytum. I have no luck with Astrophytum flowers. Usually they develop the bud, but then they drop them. So hopefully this will continue to develop, knock on wood. Some of my cacti flowered during the last few weeks of summer, and some of them just recently. I will be inserting a few of the pictures here every now and then throughout this video to show you some of the flowers that I got from my cacti. Look at this one. It is so fat and so plump. Nice. First in my list is cleaning up, or especially removing the dead flowers or the wilted flowers. So I have a small bucket here where I can place my wilted flowers. So many, actually, nature took care of it. When the wind blows, they would fall off by themselves. But like I said, I haven't been out much during the summer because it was so hot. So I procrastinated doing this. But yep, it's time for me to clean up. Sometimes the flowers will be pollinated, and if they are, they will form fruits like this ones. So the fruits will start out as green, and then as they ripen, they will change color. Like now, this is pink. If you open this up, this is actually full of seeds that you can sow to grow more cactus. So see, those are the seeds inside. I can make this camera focus, but yeah, I made a video on how to clean up the seeds before you sow them. If you want to see that, I'll put the link up on the screen. So here are some of the seeds. And also, if you want to grow cactus from seeds, I also have a video on how to grow cactus from seeds. Just refer to the description under this video. This cactus is puzzling me, so I don't know what this is. I bought it without an ID a few years back. It is growing, but then I will show you what's interesting about this cactus. It has a hole on top of it. So despite that hole, this cactus keeps growing, and I actually put light into that hole, and I could see that it is partly hollow in there. Yet when I squeeze on it, it's firm. See, it's hard, it's not rotting. And yet it keeps growing with that hole on top. Very odd, but very interesting. The next task on hand is taking out weeds. Weeds, I don't usually have problems with them because our weather here, summer weather here, is usually too hot and too dry for weeds to grow. But then this year, since we had a good amount of rain this summer, the weeds grew. And I have here, this is a Cactus latispinus. I actually let the weeds grow on top of it because it provides shade to it. So instead of putting a shade cloth on top of it for this year, I thought I'd let the weeds grow on top of it to provide it shade. And so I think it did the job because my Cactus latispinus looks like it's okay. But now it's time to clear the weeds. Okay, remove them because now it's not as hot as before. There you go. Looks so much better. Next is tidying up my garden. So this garden has grown so much this summertime. So here at the back I have this one. This is the one that rotted. I showed this to you last time after I came home from vacation. So the bottom part here rotted. That's why this is leaning. So I have to remove this. Oh, look at that. It's grown some side roots. Wow, amazing. Okay, so I have to remove this. Maybe I can just pull it out. Break it. Yep, it's fully rotted at the bottom. Okay, I can actually propagate the top part of this if I want to. Whoa, look at all those roots that grew on the side. And then this one, this stump, I would have to dig this out. Maybe I can just pull it. Yep, there you go. And then for that cylindropuntia, that has grown so much, but I need to prune it because as you can see, I have a rope there tying it because it's leaning and it's getting too top heavy. So I am going to shorten the rope so I can push this closer to the wall. But then if I do that, those two branches there would actually hit the wall. So I would have to trim this, cut these two branches off, this one and that one at the back. That opuntia right there needs another pruning. If you can remember when I made my video before I went to a 6-week vacation to the Philippines, I trimmed this heavily. But over the summer, it went to another growth spurt and now it needs another round of pruning. A few years back, I bought a little opuntia from a big box store here, and the name was Baby Rita. That was the label. And each pad was about the size of a quarter, maybe a little bigger than this. And it was so cute, so I decided to plant it here in my garden, thinking that it was some kind of a miniature opuntia. But I was wrong because look at how big it is now. So this is the Baby Rita, not baby anymore. So it started out as maybe this size and now it has gotten this big after I would say 3 years. So I need to prune some of the pads, cut it back because like this one is growing this way and I don't want it to cover my trichocereus. So I will give this opuntia some pruning as well. My aloes are starting to recover from the summer heat and they're beginning to look pretty once more. So they still don't have their stress colors because it's still too hot. So in winter time, they usually change their colors. And oh, this one is the hybrid that I made. This is a cross between an aloe oik, this is the aloe oik, and an aloe lizard lips, which is this aloe right here. So I crossed them, got the seed from the aloe oik, and this is the offspring. Oh, interesting. Interesting how this would look during winter time. And it is flowering also for the first time for me. Actually, the aloes are starting to bloom at this time. Fall season, they're blooming once again in my climate. I also need to do some rearranging as these cacti of mine gets bigger. Say for example this pot here at the back. This pot has two types of Mammalaria. This one with the yellow spines, this is Mammalaria pilcayensis, and then the one with the wider spine, that is Mammalaria metudae. When these were younger, they were growing upright. But as the cactus grows longer, this is what they do. So in habitat, they would either grow hanging or crawling on the ground. So this one of cactus of mine, since it has grown bigger, it is doing what it is supposed to do in habitat, and it's starting to bend and lean over, and it is crushing this poor Echinocerius pentalobus. So I have to rearrange, move the pots around so both cactus can grow much better. Last year, a friend gave me some of her cacti that were neglected, so they had etiolated growth on top. So what I did was I chopped off the top portion that was etiolated. And over the summer, look, this one is a golden barrel. It developed several pops. 1, 2, 3. It has 4 pops, so I'll let this grow. So what will happen later on is it will look like a clump. When these pops gets bigger, it will hide that bottom cactus. And then here is another one. This one is an Echinocerius rigidissimus. Same thing, it had an etiolated growth on top that I cut off, and look, now it has produced an offset on top. This is actually the top portion that I cut off from this cactus. I am not sure if this already formed roots. However, it is firmly attached to the soil, see? So we'll see until it forms new growth on top. And then this is the only one that hasn't formed any pops yet. This is a Mammalaria. I discovered one of my cactus has mealy bugs on them. This is a Socorebutia. So if you can see that white little spots on them, those are actually mealy bugs. And for mealy bugs, I usually use a solution of alcohol and water, more alcohol than water, and I spray on it or I dab it with like a Q-tip. But in this case, I have this kiss of death that was sent to me by the prickly pear from Instagram, and I find this very effective. It's natural. Its main ingredient is Scoville pepper extract. So I just merely spray this on the cactus. Usually 2 or 3 applications, over 3 days is enough. But if you use this, make sure you have or you wear a face mask, because if you inhale on it, it can make you cough. But it is a very effective solution. I am going to wrap up my early fall video here, so thank you guys for joining me today. Those are the tasks that are keeping me busy this season, this fall. I still might do some repotting, not too much because I finished most of my repotting early in spring. But I can still do some more repotting because here it doesn't get too cold until probably November or mid-November. So if I do some repotting now, it will still give them time to get settled in their pots before it gets too cold. Alright, so if you like this video guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Follow me on Facebook and in Instagram. And until next time, bye everyone and cheers!